Hello, this is Greg DeVore from ScreenSteps, and I am here today with Jason Mercer-Pottinger from Baxter. Jason, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, Greg. I appreciate the time here today. Jason Mercer-Pottinger. I'm the operations director for Baxter. I'm responsible for our tech support centers. So we're a global operation. We're supporting PD patients, dialysis patients who are at home with our dialysis devices across 9 different marketplaces. The footprint of my center is across 3 geographical locations, and we're all fully remote. So that sort of like creates another level of complexity when you're trying to manage a completely fully remote center prior to COVID as well as being 24/7. We never sleep. So the center is always supporting some patients somewhere in the globe where they need either technical or therapy related support.
Jason's been on this kind of journey of moving from a situation that was more kind of a tribal knowledge almost, or a situation to where they are very, very efficient with how they're using knowledge in their organization. I wanted to talk about that journey today. So, Jason, tell me a little bit about kind of the initial state you were in before you started really looking at how can we use knowledge and knowledge operations to enable our agents.
We had a very tenured group of folks right in our center. They were extremely knowledgeable with regards to the devices that they were supporting. They all have been doing it for a number of years, so they were pretty much able to do it with very little help or support. As the service started to evolve and we started to bring in new people supporting newer devices that we were launching to the marketplace, we realized that there was a huge gap in our knowledge management tool. We couldn't rely on tribal knowledge or tenured reps, because what we would get is we would see our newer folks putting in something into our Teams chat. They would ask a question and they would get 5 or 6 different responses, which in a quality driven center like my world, that really did keep me up at night, because as humans we're always going to take the one with the least resistance, which may not necessarily be the most accurate one. So we realized if we were going to look at knowledge management very differently to support a group of newer reps coming into our organization, we needed a different approach, as well as we were moving into different marketplace to optimize our resource, which means we couldn't rely on the tried and tested method of getting them in a classroom, seeing the whites of their eyes, getting a trainer in front of them. So how do we evolve our training and onboarding of reps through this new way of managing our knowledge? That was sort of pretty much where we came from. And then we sort of stumbled across your organization, and we thought this makes sense. The fact that we're able to break a lot of our knowledge articles down into more manageable steps where they didn't need to have a 500-page document on their desk, and they didn't necessarily need all this tribal knowledge to be able to get out on the floor and start to help our patients when they needed them the very most.
Well, and I love what you call your ScreenSteps knowledge base. You call it the brain. Tell me why you
The
call it the
brain.
brain. Yeah.
So we wanted to launch this new knowledge tool. So we sort of said, okay, we really want you to just leave your brain at home. When you log in, we will provide the brain that will have all of the knowledge articles, all of the stuff that you need to do your job. So you really don't have to think too much. It's all in one place, which makes it very easy for the rep to be in this tool pretty much from the moment they log in to the moment they go home. And it ensures that we can keep communicating with reps because we're fully remote through the tool. And it really is the brain. It contains all the information that they need or where they need to go to get the information to enable them to assist and support our patients globally. Is pretty much like Google, so they can be in the search screen, they put in the alarm code, the information gets pulled back pretty much immediately, so they're able to assist the patient a lot more quickly and provide a lot more of the softer skills, right? So the empathy around why a patient's calling, we were able to develop those skills, which typically we weren't able to do before because it was all very structured in these call scripts that didn't really lend itself to a very sort of patient focus, if you like. So we were able to adapt our service through the utilization of the brain.
Well, and I know you've told me this really helped you improve some key service metrics for you. Tell me a little bit about NPS, consistency, how this all got impacted?
So from a quality perspective, we're 100% compliant, right? So every time an article changes, we're able to pretty much launch it immediately and know that everybody's got it, everybody's using it. So that's a huge tick for our organization. The second piece is then the net promoter score. We saw nearly a 15 to 20% increase in patient satisfaction after rolling out the brain, because people were able to, they didn't have to keep calling back, right? So it impacted not just NPS, but first contact resolution as well. We saw major increases, and it's been pretty consistent since we've launched the brain. It hasn't really dipped too much during the last couple of years. So yeah, we've been very impressed with using it, and it's enabled us to bring people out of training a lot quicker and get up to speed a lot quicker when they are out on the floor.